All right, come on, dog. Gotta make sure you in frame too, bruh. Oh, I'm barely in frame, but you can kind of see me. What's going on, everyone? It's Luis, King's Cuts. Thank you for coming back and checking out the channel. We got Quan. His Instagram is gonna be down below. He also cuts hair. We're gonna do a high taper on the sides and back, and then we're gonna curl some of this top. Without further ado, let's get this video going. We're gonna start with the clipper itself. No guard on there. We're just gonna be doing a open and closed, so that way we can make our first official guideline. We're gonna cut off the C points, and we're just gonna pick it out a little bit, and then we're gonna freehand some of the top. All right, that was my bad. I got mail at the shop, so I had to stop the cut a little bit. Pretty much what we did, open, then half an inch below that, closed, and now we're just gonna be working on getting rid of this line. Take it little by little. Notice how I'm going real light on the head. I'm just pretty much putting the blade on top of his skin. I'm just going up and down. I don't need to be giving him a concussion. I'm not trying to knock him out. We're gonna go into our trimmers. We're just gonna be knocking this bulk down right here, so that way it can get ready for our balders. Balders, I'm gonna go down first, using both heads, and then I'm gonna go up. Make sure I clear out all this area, and I don't hear any crunching anymore. You wanna make sure that you don't hear the crunching. That lets you know that everything's balded out. Now we're gonna be going in with our 1/16. We're just gonna be clearing a little bit, half inch after the open, no guard. Then after that, we're gonna do one. We're gonna do one down with the grain and up against the grain. We'll do a one against the grain first, and then we'll go back down just to clear out all of this. And then we're gonna pick out his hair, and I'm just gonna be doing a little bit of freehand. We're gonna be using a taper comb just to brush everything down to make sure that some of these high spots here, which you can't get with a brush, a nice taper comb with the small teeth is able to bring down most of this hair down here. And you're gonna see how it's changing its pattern. And that's exactly what we wanna see. So that way we can go down with the grain so it can give it that gradient look right there. Continuously brush it down with the taper comb. Again, the bristles aren't gonna be doing too much of this. You're gonna need some type of teeth. I recommend the smaller the teeth, the better. Just so you can see key details that you might miss with a larger tooth comb. There's some areas right now where I wanna detail up, do a little bit of corner notching with the 1/16 or half guard. So I'm gonna put the half guard back on so that way I can clear out some of this back end here right below, right behind the ear, because I wanna make this nice and like a nice gradient look. I want a nice gradient look from light to dark, no skin to hair. Now we can still use the taper comb and just use a little bit of shears just to clear out some of this main transition from the fade to the top, So that way when the sponge is going around, it's not gonna look like instantly light to instantly a bunch of hair. Because right now, even with the way this looks, if it was from far away, it looks like he has a huge line here. So we wanna lighten a little bit of this dark space right here. How I'm doing this is I'm bringing it on an angle. Right here in the video, you're gonna see it, even though it's in slow motion and I'm gonna be talking over it. I have the shears at a slight 45-degree angle. So that way, I'm not cutting into his head. I'm cutting a little bit of the hair and spacing out. So it's gonna give it more of a blowout look. So now after watching the slow motion and then back to this side, you'll see how it's taking some of that light and dark area out. So that way, as he's further away and someone sees him, it's not gonna look like he has a huge line on him. I like to start out with the 1 to see where my gradient is gonna stop. So as we have him looking down, we'll just brush down a little bit with the taper comb, but on the wider teeth side. That way I get to pull a little bit more hair. So I'm gonna start about like midway, right around his earlobe. And we're just gonna go down with the grain first. So now I know, since we did down with the grain, I can pick this out and then I can do a little bit of shears and it'll give me a nice light to dark contrast. So since I started in the earlobe, down with the grain with the 1, we can now go about 2 fingers, open, no guard. This is right around 2 fingers below where we started. 2 fingers because we have to do the 1 and then the 1/16 or half guard. So 2 fingers, 2 clips. That's basically how I do all my measurements. So that way with each person's head, it's consistent. Going back in with the no guards and just clearing out the little line that was had left. Going in with the balders again, but for the back, since it's a nice small area here, we're just gonna be going with just the very top of the foam. Not of the foam, of the balder blade. Every time I see these, I think of like foam or a sponge because of the little bristles. That's why you heard me say foam coming out of my mouth. So we already did 1 with the grain. We're just gonna now do a half guard. And we're just gonna go clear this out. Again, for this, you can use brush or you can use taper comb. As I'm cutting his hair, I'm noticing that a good amount of it is pushing left. And if you wanna get rid of those lines quickly, just go the opposite direction. So just go completely against the grain where it's going. Just saves you on time, saves on the client's time. Going in with shears, just to clear some of this space out here, just to make sure that it's nice and uniform. You just want to hit the very top layer of it. You're not trying to dig in. As you're seeing in the video, all you want to do is go little by little. And you know what? Even for something like this, instead of just hitting the top layer of it, if you want, you can even go in and use a little bit of thinning shears just to debulk. Here, here. But use it cautiously. You want to make sure that you're not overusing it. And when it comes to lining up your client, you just want to go back behind the ear, get him in a nice direction where you want that line, and go from end point to end point. That way it's sharp, and not so sharp where it's digging inside of his hairline. Gonna connect it from one end point to the other. Slowly tapping the line, make sure everything is straight as possible. So now we got his hairline to where I want it to look. We're just gonna do a little bit of enhancements on the sides and then on the front. And then after that, we're gonna put a little bit of brown pencil around, but then we're also gonna use a little bit of the trimmer to push that brown pencil so where it's not too much of a highlight, and then a little bit more of a razor. And then we'll use the curl sponge on top to pretty much get all of this nice and curled up to the way he wants it. A little bit of hairspray just on top. And how we're gonna spray it is we're gonna go in little sprays, but a pretty good distance away from the actual hair. And again, little sprays, just enough so it adds a little bit of detail, but not so much where it looks fake. We're just gonna go here, touch it, and then we're just gonna lightly come across it. You can do one smooth direction like this, or you can do little spurts of it here. Just when you're trying for the first time, you like to do it a little bit slower, just to make sure you have everything even. You don't want to leave it on there. You want it almost like you didn't even use it, to be honest. It's just another way to get a nice detailed work in our craft. It's going the extra mile. Someone can really tell that's radiating and the person took care of their craft. And it became its true art sense, its own portrait. It's a nice little final touch. And it just gives it a nice like little bounce. You're able to see the difference between hair, hairline, and that like slight little glow, ever so slightly. Next, we're gonna do a little bit of curling and the video's done. All right guys, now we're just gonna do a little bit of curling. So there's two options. One is to just spray with a little bit of water, dampen it, and then curl it, which is good. Here, we'll do a little bit of water. Option two would to be use a little bit of Elegance or any type of gel, honestly. Even if you can find Elegance anymore, I'm not sure. Tap it on here, just on the very top layer of it. Another way I used to do this for a while, if you want the curls to really last in there for a good amount, if you apply a little bit of heat as you're curling it as well, it sits in a lot better. You see that the curls are coming out a lot more now. All right guys, we're pretty much done. I'm gonna roll some B-roll for the after footage after the haircut is done. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys wanna see more videos like this, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any other questions, comments, concerns, please leave a comment down below. Appreciate everybody. Thank you.